Hi everyone, my name's Mark and welcome to today's total body workout with a focus on chest, core and some arms. For best results for today's workout, you will need to have a set of light dumbbells, but you can easily modify with anything you have around the house. So when you're ready, let's get started. We're going to start off with a bit of a mobility warm up first. So take the feet about shoulder width apart. You start with this split arm swing. So one arm up, one arm down. So as always, we'll spend the first few minutes just to create this movement and mobility into the joints, bit of warmth into the body, lift the heart rate up and get ourselves ready for the workouts. Big stretch, reaching all the way out through the fingertips. Okay, good, relax the arms, alternating knee lifts. So lift one knee, pause for a moment, alternate sides. So what we want to do here is just take a moment to find your balance, grounding down through the supporting leg, drawing in through the belly, engaging the core as we lift up and create some mobility into the hips. And one more each side. And then take a wide squat next, so feet about shoulder width apart. Drop down, little pause at the bottom for a couple of seconds, and then rising all the way back up. And so as we create this movement into the legs, aim to get your upper legs down so they're pretty much parallel to the floor. And then keep the weight even in both feet as you drive up through the feet, standing all the way up through the body. Let's take two more. Okay, good. Last one, pause down here. And then bring yourself into a plank position. So hands and feet both shoulder width apart. You can always drop down to the knees if you need to. Just take a moment here to switch on through the core, switch on through the shoulders. Think about aligning and stacking the joints. So wrists, elbows, shoulders. Nice and strong through the legs. And then from here, step 1 foot forward to the outside of the hands and bring the back knee down. Relax the foot, lift up through the chest. Just take a few little movements side to side here. And then from there, we can lift the back knee up again into a more active lunge and then take a twist and rotation in, reach the arm up, nice big stretch between the shoulder blades. Good, come back to the plank position. Settle here for a few breaths. Once again, coming back to that engagement into the core. So you want to think about having your body pretty much parallel to the floor. Then once you've got that, change sides, step the other leg forward. Drop the back knee down first for a moment so we can lift the chest. Give this length into the spine, maybe take a few little movements side to side. Good, then from there, lift the back knee up. Take a twist and rotation in when you're ready. This nice movement into the midsection. Good job from here. Return to the plank position, but then lift the hips into this pike. So think like a downward facing dog from yoga, this upside down V shape. Have the feet a little bit wider though, so about shoulder width apart. What we're going to do is tap across to the opposite ankle. Settle there for a couple of breaths. And then switch sides. So reach across, grab onto the opposite ankle. Let's do one more on each side. We're going to use this in one of our little combinations for today. So get used to reaching across to the opposite ankle. Good job. Come back here and then slowly start to walk the hands in towards the feet. Then just settle here for a moment. Relax the neck and shoulders, let the head hang heavy. Good, place the hands on the knees, flat back, lengthen out through the spine. And then when you're ready, slowly rising all the way up, shake out the arms and legs. Let's get ourselves ready to work. So I'm going to show you the first exercise. We're going to start off on the floor and we'll take 3 rounds through as always. So exercise number 1, we're going to start off with a side plank position. So I'm going to start the time up and then we'll get ourselves moving. So remember we've got 3 rounds through. So the first round, we'll set up the base movement and then add from there. So starting off like you would in plank, keep the feet wide and then drop the feet over to the side. Make your way into this side plank. So we'll do the first round here with the feet that little bit wider. And so what this will do is help us create this balance in the base with one foot in front of the other just helps create a little bit more stability into the body. And the top arm can reach forward. Keep lifting your top hip up. And so we want to keep the joint stacked, shoulders over elbow, over wrist. And then from here, come back to the center and then switch sides. So stack the foot one in front of the other. So just that little twist and rotation, and then reach the top arm forward. And so you want to keep lifting up through the top hip. So you've got the ribs stacked, joints stacked. And just focus on the breath, steady breath as you hold the balance. Okay, good job. All right, come back to the center, and now we're moving into a squat combination. So grab a dumbbell or whatever you've got. All you're going to do is start with the dumbbell at the chin, take the feet wide, and it's a squat into a front press for 45 seconds. So drop down, elbows between the knees, and then push, drive up overhead. So drop the weight down, and then drive straight up. And so the most important thing is to keep this range of motion into the legs. So nice deep squat all the way down. Exhale as you push. And so you've got this length into the spine. That's why we spend a bit of time at the start to get nice and mobile into the hips. So you've got this space to move. Okay, good job. All right, place the dumbbell out of the way, and then we're going to make our way into a forearm plank. So this first block of work's got a nice oblique challenge for the sides into the core. So forearms down, thumbs extended, and then have the feet just about hip distance apart, not too wide. Elbows underneath the shoulders, forearms down flat. And then from here, what you can think about doing is, feel like you want to push the mat away a little bit with the forearms. And so we create this space between the shoulder blades, this narrowing through the ribs, drawing in through the belly, switching on through the legs, hold for 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, have a little stretch. Send the hips back onto the heels. Reach out through the arms. So we're going to repeat those same 3 exercises 2 more rounds through. And I've got a different variation for you each time on the side plank. So if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, then this is the exercise where we do it. But feel free to stay with any option you want. So when you're ready, come back into plank position. Turn the feet to the side, back on the first side. And so you can start here with level 1. You might stack the feet together, level 2. If you feel like that's okay for you and you want to give yourself a little bit more, what you can do is lift the top leg, and you can hold here. So you notice that each time we add a new layer in progression, it increases the intensity of the movement, more focus, more balance. Almost lost mine then. Okay, good job. Drop back down, change sides. So start off with level 1. If you want to stack the feet together, which will require a little bit more balance and focus, or you may even decide that you want to lift the top leg. Pause there. Focus. If it gets too much, you can always drop back down. This is really good for hip stability, glute activation, and obliques as well. So really nice amount of core work. Come back to the center, up onto your feet, grab your dumbbell, squat into the front press. So we use this to get the heart rate up and get us moving in a nice full body movement. So when you're ready, deep squat, drive into the overhead press. And so on the second round, you don't even need to have a dumbbell. You might decide that you just want to do body weight. So the option would look like this. You might just go here and then reach, squat, and then reach. So it really doesn't matter what option you choose. I like to take the elbows towards the knees and then drive up through the arms. Because one of the important things about an effective full body workout is, even though we'll focus on certain body parts, you still want to think about moving your whole body as one complete unit with maximum activation and alignment. Good job. All right. So back down onto the floor, forearm plank. And we've got a variation for you, just in case you're looking for a little bit more. So start here in forearm plank. Everything else stays the same, so you can stick with this option. Otherwise, if you want a bit more fire in the core, then we just alternate knee to the back of the tricep. This one's quite a challenge, so what you want to maintain is that alignment through the core. So as you bring the knee out to the side, turn the foot out wide. So you've got your inner shin towards the floor. Good job. All right, stretch. Nice work, everyone. So that should have got the heart rate up. You'll notice that when you get into some deep core work, really elevates the heart rate, gets the whole body engaged because you've got legs, middle, shoulders, everything working together. That's the whole idea. So third and final set. I'm going to show you another option again to add on. Once again, it's up to you just to decide how you want to take it through this last round. So when you're ready, back into side plank. Choose your option 1, 2, or 3. And then from there, if you want, you can do is start to bring the knee and the elbow together. Whoa. So think about all cylinders firing for this one. Hip stability, balance, shoulder strength and stability. Whoa. Good job. All right, swap sides. Yeah. I didn't say that one was going to be easy. But if you come back to this workout another time, then you know what you're in for. Then you can just choose what option you want to work to. And you might just do a couple of reps here, knee to elbow, completely up to you. Whoops. If it gets too much, just hold the balance. Any of those levels. Okay, good job. All right, up onto your feet. Last round through, so if you want to challenge yourself, grab your dumbbell. If you've got something heavier, maybe grab that. Once again, it's all about working into those progressions. Squat, press. And if you're just working with something light, what you need to do is increase the speed a little bit to increase that intensity, as long as you maintain the alignment, the depth and the technique. Good, 20 seconds. Almost there for this first block of work. Good, last 15. See how many you can get for these last few reps. Okay, good, perfect. All right, dumbbell out of the way. Forearm plank hold, or alternating knee to elbow. For that extra challenge into those obliques to finish off this last set through. When you're ready, let's go. 30 seconds. Remember, active into the shoulders. You don't want to collapse between the shoulder blades. You want to keep that space. Super challenging combination, this one. Yeah. Can always drop down if you need to. Can always drop down to the knees as well. 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, everyone, nice work. Send the hips back. Take a little stretch here in child's pose. Grab a little drink if you need one. And let's get ready for block number 2. So, have a little look. I'll show you the first exercise. Then we continue on. You'll have a set of biceps, dumbbells for some bicep curls. So our first exercise, we've got a little push-up plank into pike. So we do one push-up, and then we do this tap across to the ankle like we did in the warm-up phase. One push-up, and then tap across to the opposite elbow, to the opposite ankle, sorry. Alternating sides. So timer on. When you're ready, let's get going. If we need a bit longer of a break, feel free to press pause. Take an extra minute or so and then join back in as soon as you're ready. So the idea here is to get us moving into the core, chest and shoulders. So you can be on the knees or up on the toes, doesn't matter. One push up, and then step the hand in a bit closer, tap across to the ankle, step back out, one push up, alternating sides. Let's take your time. Come back to that plank position before you do each push up. And if you need to, drop down to the knees, lift, walk the hand in, tap across. Whatever option you need to. Remember, you've got 3 rounds. So decide how you want to start and then work your way through. Last one. Okay, perfect. All right. Take a seat, spin the legs around, reverse tabletop. So we want to open into the front of the body this time. So we're going to start off with the first round. Fingertips pointing towards the heels, feet hip distance apart. And so when you're ready, lift the hips up, hold for a couple of seconds, and then bring the hips back down. And so as you lift, you want to engage into the back of the body. Drive down through the heels, lift up through the hips, and aim to get your upper body parallel to the floor. And so this is a really nice exercise to open the whole front of the body. Helps us create that balance between the front and the back, the stability into the hips, core activation and strength. Good, last one. Okay, perfect. And then from there, you can stay kneeling or you can stand up if you need to. I like to go kneeling and tuck the toes under. And then from there into bicep curls. And so just start with the elbows in beside the body. I like the kneeling posture because with the toes tucked under in that toe sit position, it's really good for the soles of the feet. So stretching that fascia into the feet, an area that a lot of us tend to get quite tight in. So this is a good way to maximize our time stretching into the feet as we work into the biceps. Give everything else a bit of a rest before we work into round 2. Good, last one. Perfect. All right. Dumbbells out to the side. So, first round done. We're going to repeat that same sequence 2 more rounds through. So it's up to you to decide. You want to do push-ups on the toes or the knees. Take it at your own pace. There's no set amount of reps you need to get. Just use that 60-second interval to get in as many as you can, all right? So when you're ready, let's bring ourselves into push-up position. Hands and feet both a little bit wider. When you're ready, let's go. 1 push-up. Walk the hand in, tap across, focus on lifting the tailbone up nice and high. And then on the second round, you might even want to think about the way that you connect with the breath. So exhale as you push, tap across, back to the plank position. And so remember, there's no need to rush. You always want to make sure that you come back to this strong plank. "20 seconds to go." Most important bit to focus on is this alignment and technique through the exercises. Okay, good job. All right, everyone, well done. Flip over, reverse tabletop. And so, as always, I've got an option for you to decide what you want to work with, so you can stay with the first level, just lifting and holding. Otherwise, from there, what you can do is extend out through one leg, flex the foot, and then switch sides. So we lift, hold, and extend. And so here's where you're going to start to notice what happens around the hip stability. So Switch on through the glutes and just notice, so this side for me is pretty good, but then when I go to the other side, I notice that I get this little drop into my right hip, which means that my left side is not really stabilizing as well as it should. So that's an area to work on for me. So just be noticed, or take notice of and be aware of what happens within your own body and place the focus where you need it. Good job. All right, grab your dumbbells. You can stand up if you wish. Otherwise, tuck the toes under. Take a seat when you're ready. Underhand grip, bicep curls. 30 seconds, as many as you can. Just bring in the dumbbells all the way up to the shoulders without swinging through the arms. So as you can feel as we go through each round, get ourselves moving in all different directions, gets the heart rate up, so you don't need to be jumping around to do cardio, that's for sure. You just need to be moving your body effectively and engaging as much as you can. Okay, good job. All right, dumbbells down. 30-second breather. Grab a quick drink if you need one, and then we'll make our way into round 3. So this third set through, if you want to challenge yourself and do a few more push-ups on the toes, think about that alternating leg lift on the tabletop, and just really zone in and be aware of and notice what happens in the body as you move from one side to the other. All right, ready, set, let's go. So push-up position, lock everything in tight. When you're ready, let's go. Take your time, come back to that strong plank position. No need to rush. Quite a big focus on core stability on this one. Okay, good job. All right, flip around, reverse tabletop. You can just do the lift and hold, or add the leg extension when you're ready. Lift, hold there. So you want to be able to get your body parallel to the floor before you think about adding the leg extension. All the way up, hold. And so keep driving up as you extend out through the leg. Notice if you lose the height and the balance. 20 seconds. And if it all gets a bit too much, then just drop down to the first variation, lift and hold for about 3 seconds, and then release. And then if you come back to this workout in the future, which I hope you do, then you can think about adding those extra layers. Beautiful. All right. Bicep curls. Can stand or sit with the toes tucked under, whatever you prefer. When you're ready, straight in. Let's go. Get those elbows in nice and snug. Shoulders down. And just make sure you don't start to swing through the arms as you start to fatigue. Good, 10 seconds. Good, last one. Perfect, good job. All right, dumbbells down. Shake out the arms, loosen up. Grab a little drink if you need one. Good job, everyone. So last 3 exercises, we're going to start off with the dumbbells into a lying chest fly, lifting the hips up into a hip thrust. That'll be exercise 1. And then our last exercise, we've got this kneeling tricep overhead extension. So you just need 1 dumbbell for that. In the middle, we've got this challenging push-up MRAP. So Grab a quick drink if you need one. If you want a bit longer recovery, press pause. Otherwise, when you're ready, grab your dumbbell, or dumbbells I should say to start with, lying down into this fly and hip thrust combination. So start with the dumbbells together, heels in nice and close to the hamstrings. Lift the hips as we open out through the arms, and then hips down as we bring the dumbbells in towards each other. So lift and open on the in-breath. Little pause, exhale, squeeze in. And so you want to lift the hips up as high as you can. And keep the elbows just off the floor, so as you open out to the side, you want to maintain this tension and focus across chest and shoulders. And this is a really nice way to balance out and open after the pressing stuff we've done today as well. So you always want to think about the way that they create this balance into the body. Good job. All right, rolling up. Dumbbells out to the side. And so we're going to do a push-up MRAP. So MRAP means as many reps as possible in 45 seconds. So you might want to start the first round on your knees, hands out about shoulder width apart. When you're ready, let's go. So this round here is all about fatiguing your chest, getting in as many reps as you can. Last 15 seconds. Rest if you need to, and then join straight back in. So if you need to, take a break, and then jump in as soon as you're ready. Perfect, good job. All right, from there, take a seat onto the heels. Pick an arm, doesn't matter, we're gonna do one side first. Take the other hand just to the side of the arm, and then 30 seconds, single arm, overhead tricep extension. So find the length into the spine. Good, 15 seconds. So nice isolation and fatigue for the tricep. Elbow pointing up. Bicep right beside the ear. Beautiful, good job. Whew. All right, everyone, nice work. So first round done. So flies, push up MRAP, and then the other arm for the tricep overhead extension as you move into round two. So same 3 exercises, second set through. When you're ready, come on down, we keep everything rolling. You know the drill. Once we start, we don't stop until we're finished. All right, let's go. Lift, hold. And if you find it gets a bit too much, lifting the hips and focusing on that, you can always just drop the hips down and focus on the arms. Keep the fly as the focus or the priority over the hip lift, the thruster. But if you've done a few of my workouts and you know my philosophy, it's all about how do we maximize our movement in the most functional way possible to make the absolute most of every second you invest into your workouts. It's how we can make just 35 minutes so effective. Training for functional strength, movement, and mobility. Good job. All right, rolling up, dumbbells out to the side. So second round through, here's where you want to think about if you can challenge your chest strength a little bit. So you don't have to, but you might decide that you want to do, say, the first few reps up on the toes. So jump up, And just get in as many reps as you can. Doesn't matter how many there is. Don't worry about counting. Just make sure, maintain that strong core position. And then once you've done enough, drop down to the knees. You might find that you do a few on the toes, you do a few on the knees, take a little break, do a few more on the toes to finish off with. You've got 10 seconds to go, so if you think you've got room for a couple more on the toes, jump up, get those in. 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, grab your dumbbell. Then this time we'll place it in the other arm. So if you can, back into the toe sit, tuck the toes under, grab onto the other arm. And then when you're ready, into these tricep overhead extensions. Once again, this is a good exercise to notice if there's much of a strength imbalance between the right side and the left side. Bring the weight right down to the back of the neck. Good, last 5 seconds. Perfect, good job. All right, nice work everyone. 2 rounds down, 1 to go, that went fast, eh? So, third and final set, back into the flies, open the front body. As many push-ups as you can. The third round's where you really want to challenge. Even if it's just 1 or 2 up on the toes, it's all going to increase your strength. All right, when you're ready, let's go. Lift and open. Get a big stretch across the chest. Breath in as you open. Exhale as you squeeze in and contract. "20 seconds to go. If it gets too much, doing both together. Drop the hips and focus on opening the chest only. Last few reps. Yeah, good job. All right, roll yourselves up. Move the dumbbells out to the side. All right, last set through. Push up M-rap, so now's the time. If you've got room for any on your toes, here's where we need them. So get yourself set. 45 seconds. Strong through the core. "20 seconds. Past the halfway point. Rest where you need to or drop down to the knees. Even if it all gets too much and you just hold here in plank to finish off with. Last 10 seconds. If you've got room for any more, let's go. 5 seconds. Yeah. Whoa, good job. Whew. All right, and so last round through, grab one dumbbell end to end or both dumbbells together. Tricep overhead, double arm, 30 seconds to finish. I bet you weren't expecting that, hey? Whoops, sorry. Let's go. Last 30 seconds to finish off with. Keep the biceps in close. Elbows up. Almost there. One more. Oh, beautiful. Good job. All right, everyone. Well done. Put the dumbbells out to the side. Just give those arms a few movements forward and back. Open out, shake it out, loosen up. And so as always, we'll finish off with a couple of minutes just to focus on deep breathing. Have a little stretch, bring the heart rate down and bring our body into a bit more of an active recovery. Help just to reset before we finish. So take the knees out wide, bring the big toes together into a wide child's pose. And so if you find that you're a bit tight into the hips and the lower back, what you need to do is stack the arms together and then just make a little pillow here for the forehead. So your focus is to be able to get the hips down, take a seat on the heels, and then settle here for a good 30 to 40 seconds. And as you do so, just relax into the shoulders and really focus on breathing. And so we want to create that switch in the nervous system, bringing our body into conscious recovery. Just letting the body know the workout's done. It's time to shift gears. Just notice how the physiology begins to shift as you focus on the breathing. Things start to relax and switch off. Okay, good job. From here, make your way into tabletop position. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips, tuck the toes under. Let's take about 5 rounds of cat and cow. So take a breath in and prepare. I like to start from the tailbone, rounding up through the spine. Tuck the chin in as you lift between the shoulder blades. And then on the inhale, drop the belly and the chest, lift the chin, lengthen out through the neck. And just moving at your own pace, and what you want to focus on here is creating this fluid movement through the spine. And so we just want to move through any tightness, any tension. And just notice which direction you have more ease of movement. For me, my back bending, dipping down is not amazing. So it's nice to spend that time here just to create this movement through the spine. We've all got our movement patterns that are a little bit more restrictive. Good, last one. Perfect. Come back to neutral spine. Step 1 foot forward into a kneeling lunge stretch. Just take a moment to settle here. You can lift up onto the fingertips. Find this length into the spine, and then hand up on the knee, lift the chest. And then from there, bring the hands around behind you to chest expansion if you can. If not, doesn't matter. And take a good 5 or 6 breaths here. So open the front of the body, drop the shoulders down, lift the chest. Good, take a few deep breaths. Good, slowly release, bring the hands back down to the floor. Step back, change sides, other leg forward. Just take a moment to settle here, relax the back foot. And then you can stay here if you want, otherwise hand on the thigh just to help lift. And then this time bring the arms reaching up. You can either stay here or bring the hands together and then hands behind, elbows in, opening into the back of the body. Use the breath. Good, slowly release. Bring the hands down. And then from there, let's take a little seat. We're going to finish off with a nice little forward fold. So we extend out through the legs. Lift the chest, find this length into the body. Get nice and long into the spine, toes up. And then from here, just soften the knees. Lift the knees up. And then reach the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, just slowly start to fold forward. You might take a hold over the tops of the toes around the outside of the ankles. I find the knee bend is a lot more accessible for us to get into the hamstrings and the lower back without pulling into the lower back, which can happen if you haven't got the flexibility through the back of the legs. Then keep the knees bent as much as you need to. Focus on getting that length into the lower back. And then as you focus on the breathing, hopefully you'll notice you get a bit more length and releasing into the back of the legs. Let's take another 3 or so deep breaths here. Just relax the shoulders, drop the head down, relax the neck. Good job. Slowly rolling up. Hands around behind, shake out the legs. Loosen up. Good job, everyone. Well done. So, if you've got extra time, feel free to do a bit more stretching. Shavasana is always a great thing to do here at the end of this kind of workout as well. Just lying back flat for a couple of minutes. Let the whole body relax. Really great to calm and balance the nervous system. As always, if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out on Instagram. Thanks for joining, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.